We're at morning 28 already, and I've already decided today, actually, I decided last night that today is going to be all about a personal proclamation. What I'm going to do is finalize who it is that I am. And once we know who it is we are, then we can work on developing that person into who it is we want to be and give that person to the world. We should be doing this already. This type of stuff is what should be taught in school. You hear a lot about that. Like we should be teaching just basic life skills, how to change a tire, how to do your taxes, basic stuff. But instead we're tripping out on, some crazy arithmetic or something that's gonna help us with an algorithm. Meanwhile, we're dying. We're drowning in our own self pity because nobody's taught us that we're supposed to develop ourselves. I'm from the South. We got this thing called a debutante ball, and it's where the girls, when they get a certain age, like their families, it's like an official release party. They're letting the whole world know that their daughter is who she is, and she's now a certain age, and she's available. Basically, they're advertising her, to some dude who they want to come along and, swoop her off her feet, that type of thing. But the point is, they're making a statement. And not only do we not make statements with our personality, we spend far too much time trying to convince people that we are who we are. And this person we're trying to convince them that we are, we don't even like. We're just a culmination of what we think other people want. So, personalized proclamation. It's personalized because you're an individual and you're going to proclaim it because you got to be proud about who you are. If you're not proud about who you are, you can become proud about who you're becoming. And you've got to understand that. There's so much in life that we're missing out on because we're dwelling on things that determine who we are, but the things we're thinking about aren't the things we need to be thinking about. We're thinking about how to make another person smile when we should be thinking about what makes us happy, what makes us true to ourselves. This has got to be our number one priority. This whole idea of being embarrassed about what we're interested in or our likes or our dislikes, this is ridiculous. And plus, people they crave a sincerity. They're craving you, a truly authentic you. That's what they want. That's what they want from me. They want to feel, even if it goes against something that they, a different opinion, or you like something they don't like, or they like something that you do. I don't even know. But I do know that when we consistently undermine our own self-interest because we're trying to people please, we can never become the actual person we're designed to become. This actual self that we are right now has to become an ideal self, something that's better, something that's more developed. But if we don't understand who we are, if we don't understand who we want, we can't close the gap between the two. I'm rambling. One of the reasons why I'm doing this whole let's get up in the morning and get at it series is so I can maximize the time in my day. I can close the gap between the old me and a new me, this new me that exists in the future, the ideal me. So all of my thoughts, all of my words, all of my actions have to be in alignment so I can produce this ideal person. If I have any cognitive dissonance, meaning if what I say doesn't match with how I act or my thoughts don't match my words, there's going to be a problem. There's going to be a malalignment. And this malalignment is going to keep me from getting anywhere. You're just going to perpetually spin your wheels and tread water your entire life. And then you're going to wake up dead and it's going to suck. So back to my morning process. We got 3 things we're doing each and every morning. The first thing we're doing is hydrating. We're not just hydrating with water. We're hydrating with electrolytes and salt. If you can't afford electrolytes, handy dandy, pink Himalayan salt, 1/4 tablespoon. Watch this. I got my microplastic filled water bottle. We're going to dump this right in. If you'd have told me a couple of years ago that I'd be waking up in the morning and literally dumping Himalayan salt into water and drinking it, I'd have told you you were straight tripping. I come from the generation that really believes that salt is like your enemy. It's not until recently that we've learned salt helps with muscle contractions, it helps with controlling, keeping the water in the body. It's really something absolutely awesome. After we hydrate, your blood oxidation levels are low from sleeping. That means there's not a lot of blood. That means there's not a lot of oxygen in your blood. That creates that mental fog, that zombie like feeling in the morning is because you don't have oxygen in your brain. The best way to put oxygen in your brain is to do some kind of physical activity to get the blood flowing. With blood flow comes increased oxygen. I've been doing push ups and burpees. Probably going to do some more burpees today. But that's the science behind what I'm doing. And also, sunlight signals your body to wake up. It also signals vitamin D production. All of this stuff you can learn about by just Googling. And again, just because I can wake up every morning and do this because I work later in the day, I understand that some people cannot do stuff like this. It makes sense. I mean, you got to be at work at 7 o'clock in the morning. Nobody's expecting you to get up and to like crush a burpee workout. That's ridiculous. What I am saying is use this as a template. You can do some deep breathing to increase blood oxidation levels. Just deep controlled breaths will drive oxygen into your brain. The hydration, bro, that's something that you have to do. Doesn't matter. Put the bottle of water beside your bed. If you don't have the salt, if you don't have the electrolytes, don't even worry about that. As soon as you wake up, you got to down 16 ounces of water as fast as you can. Don't do one of these things where you sip a little bit and wait till you feel, nah, go right into it as fast as possible. What we're trying to eliminate is laying in the bed and just hitting snooze constantly over and over again because we're snoozing our life away. Sleep is important, okay? But the shit sleep you get like when you just hit snooze and you go back to sleep for like 5 minutes, that's ridiculous. We're gonna stack those little 5 minute snoozes together and get something more out of our day. That's the whole point of this. The whole point of me still talking right now is to avoid doing these burpees. So let's get at it. You know what's bad? I've sped these up twice or 2 times. That's as fast as it'll allow me to do it. And I still think they look slow. Oh my gosh. I think I hit like 18. My goal is to work up to like 20 or 30 fairly quickly. And then I'd like to be able to hit 50. Wake up in the morning, knock out 50 burpees. They're a heck of a lot harder than push ups. And I really do feel a lot better in terms of just breathing deeply and getting oxygen into my lungs and my mental fog. I mean, it does go away. I feel better when I'm talking. Let's pause this. Let me catch my breath. We are so blessed by having time and by waking up early, and not necessarily early, but by waking up at a time where we can become our best in the morning. What we're doing, we're showing gratitude for our day. And gratitude is basically a way of grounding ourselves, reminding ourselves to be appreciative of what we've got. And once we appreciate what we've got, then what we can do is we can ask for more. We can expect great things to happen. But that can only start when we develop an attitude of gratitude, being thankful for what it is we do have. You might not be rich, but you got the ability to watch a YouTube video. You got the ability to use your body in a way that brings honor and glory to yourself, to your creator. There's all kinds of things we can be thankful for. My car got repossessed not long ago, but I can still use public transportation to get to the gym, to get to work, to get wherever I need to go. I mean, if I didn't have public transportation, I'd have to rely on somebody else for a ride, and that would suck. It would really suck. I'm thankful that I have enough money to where I can fix the food that I want to eat. I mean, it's not filet mignon every night, but it's what I want to eat is protein, carbs, and fat. I get to eat within my caloric limit. I eat the right amount of macronutrients. These are all things that I need to be thankful for. That's why I'm getting up and doing these videos so I can remind myself of what I've got so that I don't feel guilty for asking for more. Because stewardship is a big deal. If you're not taking care of what you've got, how in the world can you expect anything else from anybody? God, the universe, whatever. I mean, it's a bit ridiculous to ask for more without appreciating what you got. And not only appreciating, maxing it out. Like taking what you've got and just making the best of it, the best of where you live. If you got a crappy place, I mean, you can at least make it clean. You can make it nice as possible for you. There's nothing wrong with visualizing or wanting more. But if you're wanting more, it keeps you from taking care of what you've already got. Now you're talking delusion. And that's where you got some mental help, mental issues coming in when people are like delusionally optimistic, but they don't put the work in. They don't understand that you have to actually put effort into something to get effort out of something. Those are the type of people that end up being like psychopaths because they get really jealous when they see what other people do and become, but they are clearly not the ones to put the work in themselves. So back to what I was saying earlier. Today, it's Monday, a personalized proclamation. Maybe you should just sit down and write it out. Tell yourself who it is you are. And if you're not that person, tell yourself who it is that you want to be. Man, we got one shot at this. And this, the dimension of time that we have, the ability to have a moment now and hopefully have a moment afterwards. This is just, it's amazing. And we can look back at our previous moments. We can call them mistakes or whatever. But I mean, what a learning experience. You can go back and see and not make those same mistakes now. So much time has been wasted by me only because I didn't understand. People told me, and I had a head knowledge of personal accountability, personal development, all things ultimately leading back to you and your ability to manage your life. I knew all this stuff, but I didn't know it. I mean, I knew it in my head, but I didn't feel it right here. And that's where it's got to start. I mean, you've got to make an internal decision to do better anyway. But the heart decision, the ability to decide that you want to develop yourself, you want to become a badass person. And I don't know what a badass person looks like to you. I mean, that looks like way different to me in my life, but I can't answer that for you. What I can help you do is I can show you what I'm doing to correct all the time that I've wasted, I've thrown away, I've not believed in myself, I've sold myself short, but I still got time left. If you're still here, you still got time, even if it's just for a day. Get your stuff together. Everything that you think should be reflected with your speech, and your speech has to back up your actions. Your speech has to direct your actions in such a way that you get closer to your ideal self, this actual self. We've got to leave him behind. It's a meat suit and you're going to get a new meat suit. And I'm not just talking about a physical change. I'm talking about a transforming of your mind. When the man, your frequency is what you frequently see. Once you start feeding your mind healthier things, then you'll have healthier thoughts. These healthier thoughts will congruently enter in and you'll have words that reflect those thoughts. And again, the actions have no choice but to follow. And eventually, with your thoughts, your words, and your actions, you're going to come into your blessings. You're going to come into the dominion. What you have ready for you will be yours. But we got to start. We got to start. It's Monday. Personalized proclamation. Who are we? What are we about? What are we going to do? Don't be afraid of that person and give that person to the world.